Good morning, everyone. We here live in the studio, 227 Media Studio, Laws of Life with Blanca, Z Legacy Talk, which is we creating it uh, with the legacy because I love about legacy, everything about legacy. We have here with the formal NBA players,
Gary Forbes. How you doing?
amazing, amazing.
How you doing? My name is Gary Forbes. Nice to be here at this amazing, beautiful studio with Mr. Z.
I
You guys
appreciate
are
you.
you guys are mic'd up, so you don't need that mic. Oh, you need it. Okay, go ahead.
Awesome, awesome. Number one, we've been running to each other for about what, a year or so.
Yeah,
You know,
probably.
like about a year or so. You know, like and we remember each other, but we never interact. You know, I've been watching you for years, and you know, Kobe, one of my legacy guys. You know, like God bless his soul, and you were. A lot of games I was watching you, and you were a big D into Kobe, best of the best. I call him the legend, but I like Michael Jordan, and he's the GOAT for me. But tell me more about that.
Um, for me, it was a dream of mine. Goal was to get to the NBA. I fell in love with the game after watching Michael Jordan play. Obviously, that's my GOAT. That's 1A, 1B. And yeah, it was an amazing experience to play against somebody that's, you idolized and you wanted to be like and wanted to play on the same court with them. So it was an amazing experience, and I wouldn't trade any of the challenges that I did for the world.
Let me ask you another question here. When really start want it? You know, I mean, like everybody put them in a position. You know, like, hey, I want to be at this. That's my goals. That's my dreams. When that started?
For me, it was about 4 years old when my dad built us a basketball hoop with his bare hands. He was a welder on the Panama Canal. Handyman, could do it all, fix anything, build anything, and we were just playing basketball inside of our house, and it became a passion and a love of mine. So that's when it started, around like 3, 4 years old.
You mentioned Panama Canal. That's a huge thing.
Yeah.
That's what you're from.
Yep. Born in Panama, Colon. Came over here when I was about 4 years old, but born over there, and that's my family heritage. And my dad did great things in that country, being a welder in the Panama Canal, one of the wonders of the world.
I love it. I went to cruise actually just to cross Panama Canal. Believe it or not, it was like I had to wake up. You know, a lot of people missing it, but I was in a cruise, and it took like literally hours just to cross. But
Yeah.
you know, to massive ship with 5,000, almost 6,000 people,
Yeah.
to be carried from one to one to one to one. You know, like I was like, I had to wake up super early because only who the people who can wake up early can see the transaction, because I don't know why they do it at that time, but I guess that's that schedule. You know, you will see the sunrise and it's beautiful. You know, I mean, like Cologne is a beautiful city. Also, I don't know, maybe you were young. You ever visit after that?
Yeah. I played on the national team. I still have family, a whole bunch of family there. Played on the national team for many years. Been back many times after I came back.
What state you grew up?
For me, Brooklyn, New York,
Oof.
Mecca of basketball, big city. They said if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. So my parents did a good job in putting me in that place so that I can, mold into, becoming
The
person
good
that
and the bad and the ugly?
yeah, I'd say the good,
Hey, Brooklyn, I lived in Brooklyn. There is
Yeah.
good and bad and ugly, brother. Come on, you know, I
Yeah.
mean, I was in Brooklyn for a little bit, and then Jersey, and then Miami. But most of your life you spend in Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. When you start your NBA?
My NBA career, so I was played in college, played at the University of Virginia, then transferred to the University of Massachusetts. after that, went and played in Italy for about 2 years, and was able to get the call to try out for the Denver Nuggets, and made the team. So that was around 2009, 2010, around those years, and played for 3 years and played in different countries, Asia, South America, all over Europe.
That's put you in a position. You've been in different teams, different countries, different. That's give you a lot of experience, right?
Yeah, like life experience.
Life experience.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of time people they don't want to answer their personal question, but I always ask. Married, kids, life, divorce.
I am. I have a partner, a best friend, a significant other. Been together 13 years. We have a child. The most beautiful experience I ever had is being a father.
How old?
He's almost 2.
Wow,
Almost 2.
congratulations.
So thank you.
Change of life, right?
Definitely changed life. A great change.
Awesome. Families is all about. Second, I know we were mentioning what's the future for you, and I want to see. I don't know if you brought some of these books with you.
No, I did.
I know. I want to talk about that because everybody has a little future and everybody has goals. You know what I mean? And as you are one of the legends in NBA, also you mentioned one time you're one of the first NBA diabetic to play in the NBA.
Yeah.
Want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. I'm one of 3 players to have played in the NBA with type 1 diabetes. My father was also a type 1 diabetic. My grandfather also. It was something that I didn't see as necessarily a setback. It was almost, for me, it was a springboard. It almost kind of drove me to overcome that challenge of being. I didn't even think about it, but now looking back, being one of 3 players and understanding how challenging that is, managing and living with diabetes. Towards the end of my basketball career, I wanted to figure out what my purpose was, what's my why am I here, why did I go through all these different challenges and overcoming those. And I decided to create a children's multimedia platform, which is Soul Survivors, which is what you talked about. I didn't bring the books.
Well, it was we needed that.
Yeah,
But we do another
Yeah,
session. We
yeah.
can do another session, and we.
It's easy to go to. Just go on, thesoulsurvivors.com. SOLE is a play on words.
Okay.
Soul being the only one, which many children who are going through chronic health challenges, feel like they're by themselves and there's no representation or support. And I decided to create the superheroes that represent, optimism and stick-to-itiveness and, a presence of hope. So the goal is to create a one-stop online marketplace that offers a wide range of products from specialized health tools, educational resources, merchandise with the Soul Survivors characters. The goal is to empower and make families feel like overcoming or dealing with the chronic health challenges manageable, and having these children see themselves as a superhero. And I think that's really important, especially.
What pushed you to do that?
My dad was big on health and wellness. Olympic lifter, cyclist. He always had books in his library and bookshelf about health and eating and what's good for your body. He always had kind of an analogy. It's like if you have a special car, or if you're driving a Rolls Royce or a Bentley or a Lamborghini, what kind of gas are you going to put in it?
I put aeroplane fuel. That's the cleanest.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
premium.
And that's why the same is as your body eating. Yeah.
Premium. You got to put in the right thoughts, the right rest, the right fluids, food, and all those things. Exercise to get the best out of life. And I think learning those skills very early, and then also playing sports and athletics has prepared me for this, which is a major challenge, especially globally. We all know somebody with a chronic health challenge, unfortunately. Something in our everyday life, and I think starting to educate children very early when they're sponges to understand, show empathy, understand how important their body is and understand how important taking care of their one body is. We only get one of these,
Yeah.
so might as well take care of that one.
I love that. You know, I was talking to Blanca actually this morning. You know, our number one laws of life for her laws of life is to be healthy. You know, you always without your health you have nothing. You know what I mean? Like, and we always talk about it. You know, you have to thank God for to bring you up on your feet in the ground the second day to be healthy. And I used to travel to China, and I had Chinese wise guy. He said a lot of people now today's days they work hard to make that money, and they were born naked and die naked. But guess what? You number one, no matter how many billions of zeros you make. Without the one, guys, you left with what? Zero. And that's why you have to take care of that body for you and for your soul and for your health. That's very important to be challenged every day to wake up healthy. And sometimes, guys, you want to surround yourself with the people around you to be healthy. You know, but that's gonna be a lot of effect into you. You know what I mean? Like, you hang around with fat people, you're gonna end up fat. I don't care what it is. You're gonna hang around with healthy people, they're gonna push you around. And I always say, you know, one bad apple killed the box, you know, and it's a fact. When they come to money, guys, I know we talk a lot sometimes with the financial money. You know, money is not everything, but it's a vehicle. You know what I mean? They have to take you from A to B, no matter what. Then, you know, don't let the money goes to your head. My wife always said, don't let the money goes into your head. I said, what you talk about? We talk about people here, you know. And that's part of a challenge, you know. It was a challenge for you to be like as minority, say, with health situation, but and how affect you with the people you surrounded with.
For me, I guess being the first and only Afro-Latino to play in the NBA with type 1 diabetes, the other two were Adam Morrison and Chris Dudley. I don't know, I didn't have the...
It didn't affect your mental
it didn't affect my mental psyche at all, because my father was big on empowering us with optimism. He would never be surprised if we got good grades or you know, and if I scored a whole bunch of points. He would be disappointed if we didn't do those things, because he would always say, you're a Forbes, you're supposed to be better than this. Or,
better than Forbes, right?
Yeah.
I like the last name anyway.
You're
Right?
Forbes, you're supposed to be getting straight A's, or you're supposed to be doing well. So it wasn't something that, you know, I felt I deserved a reward.
You know, my father was, you know, I lived in another country for a while. I came when I was 18, but we didn't communicate as much because I'm one of the oldest of 16 kids. Imagine, you know what I mean? Like, his time wasn't for every kid, right? I guess, I don't know. But as a challenge, he always like, I got one time even like a little story to see how the love of your father, you know what I mean? Like, we lived in a country, it's very, very restricted. One day I came after hours. He beat me up before somebody else beat me. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I came 5 minutes late. I was riding the bicycle coming home. And you know, that's anxiety in that, and boom, 7 o'clock, and he smacked the heck out of me. He made me be in myself. But I appreciate that, you know why? Because that's put you in a way of a discipline. People, they don't understand their parents, you know, like sometimes, you know, oh, you harden your kids and so forth. But if your own parents doesn't teach you what to do and discipline, who will? You want to elaborate on that?
Sure. I mean, my dad was big on strict. My mom is definitely she's the warden. She's very, very strict. My mom was very. I would say I don't want to use the word overprotective in a bad way.
Is he Hispanic?
Yes.
Oh, that's why I don't like
It's
Panama.
Yeah, Panama, West Indian, just very you know, nurturing and wanting to protect her, you know, her family, her babies. But my dad was big on strict order. He said one of his other quotes or things that he lived by is, how you do one thing is how you do everything.
I believe in that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, that's how is your habits. I was reading a book about habits, and habits make who you are.
Yeah, right, exactly. If we would be taught to keep our rooms clean, be on time, or be even early, work hard, not complaining. So all those things prepare me for
Who you are now.
yeah, and then real life challenges. So I have to be early in practice. The reason I think that I got these opportunities was because I was preparing myself. So proper preparation prevents poor performance. So the 5 P's that.
Oh, what's the 5 P's?
Proper preparation prevents poor performance. So
I love it.
if you're prepared for
Whatever.
challenges, for anything, you'll be prepared, and you'll have great performance in those things.
Well, I always tell that to my employees, always, all the time. You ever, like you coming to a job site and they didn't have a screwdriver and the job required a screwdriver. Like going to the surgeon room without a knife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how you gonna cut somebody without a knife, and that's how I tell them, you wanna be prepared always. And preparation actually for anything is very, very important, because it's not gonna avoid anything, but it'll avoid some obstacle in the way. You know what I mean? Like your mindset it change when you prepare.
Right.
Like in any challenge, like as you. I don't know what your rate in basketball, but I know you played very well. If you played against Kobe, I think
I did all right.
you did all right. Yeah,
did all right.
That's the humbleness coming in right now. But a creation of your legacy, for me, is very important. I think, and that's what you want to do. I think you want to build a legacy for your kid and the kids of the world. And that's what you did with the books, right?
Yeah. I mean, with the platform, for myself, playing in the NBA, that was my personal dream and goal. I love basketball, and I accomplished that goal through stick-to-itiveness and having that optimistic mindset, and never giving up, and facing challenges with eagerness. But I think my overall mission in life is to leave the world better than how I found it. Inspiring kids,
inspiring. Yeah.
Inspiring kids to see themselves, in a different light. Sharing more, growing with optimism, seeing challenges as something to overcome and not something to be afraid of, and testing your limits, testing your boundaries, and that's the only way for growth. We go to the weight room every day. If I lift the same weight every day, I won't, grow.
No pivoting.
Right. So
we talk about that a lot. Pivoting. I always talk about pivoting, guys. There's Pivot. It's a book, actually. I read it, maybe I took it with Millionaire Minds, and you're not pivoting every day, you're not alive. Yeah, and another thing, talk about legacy and kids. We want to leave, I love what you said, we want to leave this world with a better place every day, like Blanca and I talk about this morning, we need to help people. Without people, we have nothing. I always say that. One hand doesn't clap. You always want to build the teams. And as a team, you always play with the teams. Another question. I know when you played, you were a team player, or it's about yourself? That's a lot of basketball guys, it's me and me only. We're not gonna mention names, but let's keep it that way. What about you?
For me, I'm probably, maybe some of my teammates in high school or in college would think otherwise and, say I shot the ball a lot. But, I did work at that. That was a gift or talent of mine to score the basketball. But overall,
You were a three shooter?
Just scored the ball. And
Yeah.
Anyway, post up, drives, three points. But I think my overall thing was doing everything. I wanted to be pretty good at everything, not having a lack or not having not having an ability to do different things. So I could pretty much do everything, 1 through 4, I could dribble, pass, shoot, rebound, defend. So I was pretty much an all-around guy.
With that experience, you still teaching kids in that, or you want to give that gift to other kids in life, or what you thinking like to help other kids to who want to play basketball? There's a lot of kids who want to play basketball, but they don't have that opportunities. You know what I mean? Like for me, thank God, you know, I live where we have a basketball court in my backyard, and for me, every Sunday, I have to be there. Even when it's raining, we squeeze it and just to play, because my consistency built that. You know, I mean, I'm not that good or best, but I think I can be Z-fence, they call me, or Z-fence, you know, like, and I'm solid in the court, but the challenge of, you know, as you building a legacy, do you think you want to transfer that to other kids and build them and give him the chances to be better when they are?
With basketball?
Yes, sir. That's what we talk about.
No, I'm keeping all those secrets to my son. You know, I'm not giving any secrets away. No,
you're being selfish here. You know, like that.
No, definitely. One of the things that another one of my you know, endeavors is to create a basketball academy where I can give back that knowledge. I think it's selfish, and I don't think the experience grows if you don't take what you've learned, give it back, so that, you know, we saw the Olympics, you know, last year, and how, you know, so many people were watching the game, and how
Oh, I love watching basketball.
how impactful it is.
Yeah.
So the sport is growing, and you know, I think for me, being able to share my experience and my, you know, my challenges and how I overcame them can help them, not necessarily in their way. They may not have type 1 diabetes, but if they can see if Gary Forbes can do that, you know, I can do, you know, whatever I'm dealing with.
I know nobody predict the future, right? But you mentioned your son, 2 years old, right? Are you gonna push him to play basketball, or are you gonna let him choose?
My first love was football, soccer. That was
Okay.
my first love when I grew up in Panama.
I coached soccer before.
So I'm gonna have him do those two sports. Those are the two for me.
And let him choose, right?
Let him choose. Those are the two. You got two good choices. You know, football, soccer, and well, not American football, but
Of course, yeah.
European football, and basketball for sure. For sure, basketball.
Well, that's what you're holding for the future. Nobody predict the future. Nobody promised tomorrow, guys, and that's what you do today for me.
If he's like my dad said, if he's a Forbes, then I know he will be doing, which he is.
It's in the blood, right?
It's in the blood. So he's going to be great at whatever he does, whether it's, you know, playing in Real Madrid or Barcelona or one of these European clubs, or playing in the NBA.
Awesome. Now we're gonna last question. I want to know how people can hold of you, and how, you know, I want to help you guys into like create that. I love to create things in my life, you know, but to helping these kids into that basketball academy, you know, I mean, we're gonna work on that, and I think that's a very amazing concept. You know, a lot of people, they need that, and as you see, everybody working into that. A challenge, you know, like if we get the kids while they're young, we can change the world.
Yeah,
You know, and that's very important for me as well. You know, thank God my boys is good and they settle where they are, but you know, not boys anymore, they men. But in life, I think you want to be, you know, the ideal father for them. They want to look up to you. You know what I mean? Like, and start from now.
Yeah. For me, I don't know. I have a video game kind of mindset. So everything is a competition for me. Even with health and wellness, how I, you know, feel, how I look, you know, even how I parent. You know, that's my son. I want my son to be
Better than you.
Not only better than me, but better than anybody else's child. You know, this is my son, so it's almost like a pride thing that I have. My son will be the greatest at what he does, and I think my dad had that same kind of, it was almost ego.
Did your
in a
dad
sense.
play basketball?
He did back in the days, but Olympic lifter, his thing was on, lifting weights and super strong. But I think for me, leaving a legacy beyond basketball, but just multifaceted in health and wellness and mindset, as well as how important athletics and sports is for the development of life. And like you said, being able to teach children at a very young age about health and wellness and all the unfortunate health challenges that are out there, as well as teaching them about sports and how important working out and exercising and training, all these different things are. So I think whoever's in my ecosystem bubble, I think will see how important these tools are for these kids.
Awesome, awesome. I know you took Nobla this morning, and we made a mistake. You said the fourth time. What's your experience with Nobla? I know my partner and we started it, but so far nobody. There is few kids say, "Oh, the taste," but I want your real opinion with Nobla.
My honest opinion about Nobla, I don't drink, but for the times that I did drink it, I did feel clarity, and I've messed around with different herbs and things like that, and I was asking you, I was like, man, how do you guys mix all these different herbs? And it's still
17 different, and the main moringa. Who doesn't know about moringa?
Yeah, moringa is tough. That's a tough one, and to have all those herbs in there and to make it taste good, I think it's really cool. Maybe the kids may like a different flavor.
We're gonna create different flavors. Maybe you make them a little bit of sweetness, strawberries, natural sweetness, or passion fruits. Yeah, I love that. Guys, I want to thank Gary being here today, and I really appreciate your time. I always wish you the best into your new adventure, your book, and keep teaching and coaching these kids, because that's something I really talk about it all the time now. And people with that and legacy, it's just another number in the world, right? You want to build that legacy and continue with your legacy, like your dad said, right? He have his own, and he's not a Forbes. He's not a Forbes. You're not my son, right? Another one. I appreciate you today, and how people can get a hold of you, or the books, or the education and so forth. I want to give that for the last to all our audience.
I'm on Instagram and TikTok. If everyone's in the social media space, Gary Forbes _ really simple. Also follow the Soul Survivors, the TheSoulSurvivors. Also on the website, you can go to www.thesoulsurvivors.com and support and continue every purchase. Continue to support research, ending stigma, empowering families, and continue to change the world.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll see you around.
Yes.